Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Alright, so I usually don't post videos on my teams, but you know what? I wanted to do this quick video on this really strong team that got me a 5-0. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Halloween Cup is here. I hope you guys are having a ton of fun. It's a very diverse meta. A lot of things work, and there are a lot of great teams that can work in this cup. For me, the team you're about to see actually got me a 5-0 on my first set, which is pretty nuts. It's not really spicy, but it's a very simple team that if you have these Pokemon, which you might be able to, then you might likely have them, then you're going to do really well in Halloween Cup. Alright, so this team is really simplistic. Nothing too fancy. Also, if you've been playing GBL for a while, you should have these for Go Battle League. The lead's the Galvantula, of course. The Spooter is extremely powerful. It zaps everything to death, and Lunge gives you a lot of play with that attack debuff. Your safe switch is ALOLAN A-MUK. Now, this is kind of weird, because ALOLAN A-MUK is kind of a unique mon. I haven't seen a lot of it so far in the 25 battles I've used. In fact, I'm the only one I've seen using it. But ALOLAN A-MUK is very strong because it outpaces a lot of the meta. Sludge Wave takes out those Azumarils, those AWACS die to Dark Pulse, and there's actually a lot of sweet plays you can do with ALOLAN A-MUK. And of course, the closer is the big, the thick, the blue bunny. There's no reason I should be hyping this up because you know why? Everybody knows what Azumaril is and everybody hates it. So, Azumaril is a monster in Halloween Cup. A lot of people I've seen have led with it. That's because it's just that good. Now, you have the option of using Play Rough. I like Ice Beam Hydro Pump, but I've been seeing a lot of Azu Mirrors in matches I could have won, so I definitely, if you want to use Play Rough, I definitely recommend it. I think I'll be using Play Rough in the future. But Hydro Pump is so valuable because with Hydro Pump, you can one-shot those AWACS, you can take out those Mawiles, and you can if you get the Mirror and you get enough energy, you can take out Play Rough Azus too. So here we go. Here's our first match. Remember I said there were a lot of Azu leads? You could probably bet on what we're going to lead against. So we have Galvantula versus the Big Thick Bunny Azu. We win this. So we're just going to zap this poor little bunny to death and see if they switch out or not. They do switch, and they get switch into their own Galvantula. Now, I'm not going to switch out here because I already have Energy Lead. I have Energy Lead. As you see, they don't shield the Lunge, and it does heavy damage. I could have switched out to A-MUK, but you know what? You don't want a Galvantula with Energy Lead, and I have Energy Lead anyway. A-MUK can take care of Azu, and Azu can take care of Azu. As you see, I'm able to farm down with Volt Switch, and we're just going to wait till we see what he comes in. We know you got Big Thick Money. What you got in the back? And the best part about this, I have energy, so I can decide what to do. We get a Wormadam Trash. Sorry, dude, I'm going to turn your thing into a trash can because I am going to win this match. And the trash can actually takes out my poor Spooter. Now, this is interesting that they shielded because I was technically debuffed, so it's okay. I mean, they don't know what I had in the back, and Wormadam can take on a lot of the meta. So Wormadam versus Azu. You probably already know my Azu wins this matchup because I have Hydro Pump. The thing about Wormadam Trash versus Azu with Play Rough is that, or Play Rough Ice, or without Hydro Pump, I'd say, is that you don't have an answer versus Wormadam. Since I threw the Hydro Pump, it didn't shield through the shields, does heavy damage. We get the Azu, and here is what I was talking about. You know what I mean? That big, colorful, rainbow Crayola slime can actually take on Azu? Yes, it can. At this point, all I have to do is just go straight Sludge Wave. All I gotta do is turn a bunch of Poison Matter. My opponent doesn't even shield it, and it hurts a lot. Now, we can go for the 2 shield flex, but we ain't gonna be that risky because we need these we need this A-MUK to be healthy. As you see here, I'm actually going to do a really insane play. I'm just going to farm down an Azu. we're going to farm down a whole thick bunny Azu with an A-MUK. Yes, he's still going to have a shield, but at this point, all I need to do is throw 2 Dark Pulses, and that's the W. Because Wormadam Trash is in fact trash. I resist these confusions, and Ironhead, well, Ironhead actually does a lot of damage, but one Ironhead will in fact KO. We're still in the green. And even though you do get stabbed with Ironhead with your trash can, we still live. We get one more Snarl in, we get the Dark Pulse off, and that's GG's. That's the good thing about ALOLAN MUK. ALOLAN MUK can handle a lot of things in the closers, and we bank that they have a bunny in the back. And we do. We had a bunny in the back, and we had shield advantage. Alright, so for match number 2, we have basically a scenario where if they decide to stay in with the bunny, yes, they lose their matchup, but there's a way you could play this differently. Or they could play it differently. As you see, they elect to stay in, and it's strange why. I throw the lunge, and hopefully I grab a shield because this is a very ballsy play, and they don't. So you should... that's a very risky play. You should try to go discharge, because if you do hit the discharge, you can farm down the bunny. In this case, it doesn't work in our favor. I hit the lunge, it does debuff, but this Ice Beam does so much damage. At this point, I'm going to hit the discharge. I should have probably thrown the lunge just so these bubbles do less, but if they shield anyways, I want to get farmed down. We don't want Azu to have too much energy coming out of this matchup. As you see here, we get farmed down, it's okay. We still have 2 shields, we have shield advantage. I send in my own Azu, and now I'm going to not shield anything and farm down. I'm basically just going to sack Azu. So a little bit of misplays there. This thing is debuffed, so I'm going to eat the play rough. I should have lunged because even though debuffed play rough hits, it still chunks a little bit of damage. As you see, my opponent has enough energy to get 2 play roughs off, and it puts me in the yellow. I farm down with a whole bunch of energy, and we get a B-Drill. Now, I need that shield, so I'm going to Ice Beam here. We have a ton of energy. Even if it doesn't hit, it's okay. Now, we bait and we grab the shield, which is perfect. I have 2 shields. What I need to do here, I need to get to this Hydro Pump and take out this B-Drill. I'm being a little cautious because I don't want them to catch my Hydro Pump. So I just go for it anyways. I like time it a little bit correctly in like a split second. We get the Hydro Pump. This should KO. And we take out the Big Honeybee. Bye, Big Honeybee Wasp. And we get an ALOLAN Marowak. This is great because A-MUK wins against ALOLAN Marowak. And we have a shield. So this is absolutely wonderful. We just need 2 Dark Pulses to take out this AWAC. Or I can just Dark Pulse and Snarl down if I want to. And that's GG's. Azu stayed in. We still found the W. Alright, now for a video where we actually lose the lead. I get a Galvantula into a Toxicroak. Okay, I'm going to stay in here. Now, the interesting thing about Halloween Cup, there's a lot of plays you can do with, like, farming the opposing Mon. So you can lose the lead and that's fine. And then you can farm down the opposing Mon. Or you can try to force them to give up Switch, which would be strange. As you see here, we bait a shield with Lunge, so our opponent is now debuffed. I don't know if my opponent knows this, but you actually lose this matchup, even if you go straight lunge. I go for the second lunge. He tries a sweet play where he brings in the AWAC, however, his timing's a little off. I hit the discharge here, and now the reason why I'm just going to hit it, I want chip damage, and then we want to send an Azu to farm down. I'm not going to throw anything here. I'm going to farm down completely. I kind of called my opponents not going to shield there, where we would be really behind if that lunge didn't bait a shield. Even a Shadow Ball doesn't do enough bunny damage to Thick Bunny, and we managed to farm down the Marowak like our original plan. Now we get an opposing Azu in the back. So here's the issue. We have Azu, but we have an Azu on Azu matchup, but we don't exactly beat that Toxicroak in the back with A-MUK. So our win condition here is we need A-MUK to carry a lot of weight. Now, I'm going to go straight Hydro Pump here. I want to do as much chip damage as humanely possible. Maybe there's something we can do with Galvantula still. We still got Galvantula. We can still sack. We can try to farm down the Azu. We got a lot of options. I eat the play rough as you see, and I'm not going to make it to a Hydro Pump. So I'm going to shoot off this Ice Beam. Now, our opponent can elect a shield or not. Like I said, I just want as much chip damage as I can. We do hit the Ice Beam. Unfortunately, don't get the shield. I still have Galvantula, and I still have my A-MUK. So A-MUK with a shield is still pretty legit, but we need to be careful. I'm going to send in Galvantula. I will shield the Ice Beam because we can Volt Switch down this Azu. And now our opponent actually switches in their Toxicroak. This is kind of bad. I'm going to lunge because my opponent has to shield because this is going to kill. And they do shield. Now what we're going to bank here is that debuff Toxicroak can't Mud Bomb our A-MUK to death. A-MUK isn't the thickest thing since sliced bread, so as long as A-MUK has some, like, as long as it's debuffed, maybe A-MUK can live. That's what I'm banking on. As you see here, we're going to take the Bud Bomb, and do we live? We do! We live with actually more HP than I actually thought we were actually going to live with. We farm down the Toxicroak. And the thing here, we win CMP, this Sludge Bomb will kill, that's GG's. You'll win CMP against an Azu, so even if it had all that energy, we win anyways, and that's GG's. We took our opponent, we won CMP, and we took the W. Alright, so unfortunately, this battle is going to feature something a lot of you do not like. It is Shadow, it is evil, it has probably wrecked your soul in Great League. So, I'm not going to spoil it here, but we get Galvantula into a Wormadam. Now, here's what's going to suck. We win this matchup, but look what comes in. It's a Shadow Victory Bell. I panic a little bit because I actually don't know how much ALOLAN has an advantage against this Nightmare. As you see, I don't shield, thinking it's an Acid Spray. It's actually a Leap Blade, and it chunks a lot of damage. I'm going to fire the Dark Pulse here, hoping I can get a shield, and that I can live long enough to get both shields. Because if we don't get both shields, we're in trouble. So I do manage to get 2 Dark Pulses, which is really good, because I switched in a little late there. Now, here's my play. I'm going to let it kill me. I'm going to win CMP, because I still have a lunge queued. I fire the lunge, and here we go. We are going to take out this Victory Bell. I'm perfectly fine. We have 2 shields. We take out one of the most hated Grasshole lines in the game. Actually, it is the epitome of Grasshole. We switch into our Azu once they switch in this Mawile, and we get the glowing dong hanging. I really don't know how to hype up trash, you know what I mean? You have a Shadow Victory Bell. I hate you. I'm gonna end your life. I have 2 shields. I have a Hydro Pump Azu. If we didn't have Hydro Pump, this would be a little scary, but you know what we do? We Hydro Pump, and it does heavy damage against his Wormadam. Unfortunately, because Wormadam is so thick, 1 Hydro Pump does not kill. Now, all I'm going to do here is double shield these Iron Heads, leave as much HP in my Azu as possible, and just farm this thing down. It will never get to another move. We farm it down, and we have a Hydro Pump ready against this poor Mawile. Now, this is a literal, like, that's a tap-tap team. A literal tap-tap team, so tap-tap teams are unskilled, and tap-tap teams must die, and that's GG's. Yeah, tap-tap teams. Alright, so here's the 5th and final match. Now, this is really weird because I get another, like, interesting lead. As you see, this is the first Beedrill I've ever led against, so we get Beedrill in the Galvantula. Now, I don't switch out here. I thought about switching into A-MUK, but I'm like, you know what? Let's just play this match out and see how it goes. The thing is, Galvantula's, and if you shield X-Scissor like that, there's my misplay. I'm going to throw these lunges, and I'm going to try to bait shields, and hopefully we grab the shield and get the debuff. But as you see there, I'm already doing bad off the bat. We managed to come back by taking the shield with the lunge. Now we're going to fire the second lunge over here. We will win CMP, and we're going to fire off with our Spooter. So Spooter's gonna go. Spooter takes on lunge. We managed to grab the second shield, which is great. Now, this is bad because I'm going to die. Because unfortunately, Galvantula is not going to live this drill run, even though it's -2. This is where I send in A-MUK. And remember I told you I didn't like the idea of drill run hitting A-MUK? This is a B-drill that's taken 2 lunges, so it's -2. Look how much damage it does. It does a lot of damage. It's enough to bring us near the red. We are going to farm down with this Dark Pulse. I shield here. I don't think this is a drill run, but I want to save my A-MUK as much as possible. I'm bringing up my Switch Clock because I'm like, what do I have up? I have my Azu. And we get an Umbreon, which is really good because that's why I was a little scared about like what might be in the back. Get an Umbreon, and our Azu is enough to take on this Umbreon. Now he switches into a Wigglytuff. This is fine because Hydro Pump is here, and Hydro Pump's gonna do a lot of damage because we got Stab. We will take the Wigglytuff down. Well, not down yet. We have to like farm a few bubbles. You know, it's a little thick on its own right. It can take a full splash from a Hydro, but not the subsequent bubbles. And now we get Umbreon versus our Azu. Now I'm gonna Hydro Pump again because I have a ton of energy from farming down that Wigglytuff. We hit this Hydro Pump and we managed to get the energy drawn out. This is gonna be a last resort. It won't kill though. Now I'm kind of iffy because I really want to switch out right now because I don't want you to farm me down. So that's why I'm frantically shooting for the Ice Beam. I elect to switch in my A-MUK and somehow I snarl in because they overtap, and that's GG's. We managed to land and we get the W. Alright, so that was 5 battles. They weren't the 5 I used to get my 5-0. However, I wanted to really show like a bunch of plays or a lot of different looks you can get whether you win or lose the lead. Now what kind of sucks is I didn't really get a chance to feature ALOLAN MUK as a safe switch. If you see Firefang, Mawile, Questel, or AWAC, the basic thing is switch to A-MUK. A-MUK is your safe switch, and then whatever they switch into you, try to bait or nuke through shields as necessary with Dark Pulse or Sludge Wave. With that being said, this is a pretty meta team, but it's also very simple to use. In the hands of a great player, it can work very well. It has great pace. There's a lot of flexibility because there's a lot of plays you can do. As you saw, I won the lead. I stayed with Azus. I stayed with Azus. Azus left. I had losing leads, but I was able to still play it out and either farm down with Azu or farm down with A-MUK. Like I said, there's a lot of opportunity for play. Pretty simple. There are even opportunities for you to sack swap, but as you see there, Halloween Cup goes pretty fast, and there's not many opportunities, but it really depends. Another note here is you can use Play Rough Azu. I like Ice Beam because of bait potential, and you cover things like Golbat or Mandibuzz. Play Rough does that job as well. However, with Play Rough, it's a little difficult because it's just Golbat. But Play Rough is definitely, there's some matches where I played today out of my 25 that I definitely would have won if I got the mirror. Overall, like you saw today, I did very, very well. I went 16-9, which is pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. I had one losing set, so I had a 5-0, 2 4-1s, a 3-2, and a 2-3. So let's see, 2, 5, 6. Wait, no, I have 5-0. So I think my math is off. But you know what? It's what I did very well with this team today. In a nutshell, it did really well. It's really strong, and like I said, what I like about it is it's really simple. There's a good chance that a lot of you have these mons, and you don't need perfect IVs. These aren't Shadow. They're easy to obtain. They've been out for a while, and as you look, my Galvantula isn't even like good IVs. In fact, the reason it's ranked 252, it's 15, 14, 13. But the reason I do that is because I want my Galvantula to win CMP. The valuable thing is, in the mirror for Galvantula, it's really important that you win CMP. So CMP really determines on whether or not you win that matchup or not. And with a near perfect Galvantula, I will win CMP 99% of the time. But that's great because you don't need perfect IVs with any of these mons. It's very, very flexible, very powerful, like I said. And that's it. This was a great 5-0. It was actually not that hard to play this team. I was very comfortable in the closer with A-MUK and using it as a safe switch. There were a few opportunities where I had to safe switch. Unfortunately, I didn't get that footage, but they were basically what you saw in point 1. You see Firefang, it throws rocks at you. If you see that dead skull with that baton that's on fire, you switch into A-MUK. It's that simple. And then you play the matchup out. But as you see there, it's very powerful, very meta, but very simple. And I like simple, and it gives you a lot of flexibility, and like I said, a room to play with. I hope you guys are enjoying Halloween Cup. It's a very fun cup, very strong. There are lots of good mons. It's not quite... There's a lot of ways to play around rock, paper, scissors. That's why I like about this. Unless they're playing, like you saw, a tap-tap team. Then you gotta be a little fancy, or be a little, like... Know what you're doing and play a little bit of risk. Like you saw with my Shadow Victory Belt game. That's another good thing, is this team actually does pretty well against the Grasso line, like you saw. But that Ice Beam is really what takes out. With that Ice Beam is another reason to have Ice Beam. Because with that Ice Beam, you bait shields. If you have Play Rough, it takes one more bubble. And Shadow Victory Bell shreds. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying Halloween Cup. This is my 5-0 video. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. But I hope this very simple and powerful team helps you to 5-0 and do very well in the new Halloween Cup. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.